when we're growing up, we start with ponies and ride horses, and there's always this dream to be able to go up into the mountains and ride and see all the beautiful scenery. But things get in the way during your life, and then suddenly I realized I was too old to ride and do that.
I just think that a lot of little girls grow up wanting to be a cowgirl. I'm Jane Ann. I'm named after two of them, Calamity Jane and Annie Oakley.
One day I opened Facebook and there was a ad for this program, Do the Dream. And as I started reading and then watched the video, it was just something jumped inside of me because I thought I had gotten so old that I couldn't do this. And suddenly there was an opportunity.
I guess my motivation was I've always wanted a horse since I was a little girl. And this just seemed like something that should be on my bucket list, I guess. And I thought, I'll never have another chance to do this. And I've never seen anything else like it that was offered. And when I saw that it was older women, I thought, okay, I can do this. And I said, I may not be able to do it next year, but I feel like I could do it this year. So that's why I'm here.
I saw the video that you do, and it was on Facebook, and it was last year. And I saw it right after I got kind of released. I had breast cancer, and they were checking to make sure that they didn't see anything else. And so they released me, and I saw your video, and I watched it, and I said, I love the scenery. I'd love to do this. I would call it my celebration of life. And I went and showed it to my husband and said, you gotta watch this, tell me what you think. And he did, and he said, I think you ought to do it. I said, okay, I'm making the phone call. Now, and you were full up that year, so luckily I saw it when it came around again and called you, and here I am.
I'm thankful that I was able to make it. And the first time I saw this, wherever I saw it, I went, oh, that's something I really want to do. That's pretty awesome. And then I watched the documentary, and I didn't have any doubts after that. Before I was thinking, gosh, I have this to do at home and that to do at home. And I saw the documentary and went, it'll still be here when I get back.
The information that I saw before I came here was just so fabulous. I just kept thinking, if it's even half of what I think it's going to be, I'm going to be happy. But it's been more than that. It's just been more because of the people, because of the horses, because of the beauty. It's just been awesome.
I saw an ad on Facebook, and when I saw it, I sent a message, I want more information. And then I received a message back saying, call this number. And I did, and spoke to Sharon, and after I spoke to her, it was a no-brainer.
I was at a place in my life where I wanted to get outside of where I was. And meaning, I wanted to try doing the things that I knew I wanted to do. This time I knew I was doing them alone. And Do the Dreams offered that opportunity to do that in what I felt would be a really safe environment, and it has been.
The last 3 years were especially difficult in that I was diagnosed with cancer in fall of 21, and so I spent probably a year recovering from surgery, chemo, and about the time that I was getting better and stronger, my husband started to have health problems. So we spent another year and a half, really up until just this last January, he passed away. And so it just seemed like, and that plus the age that I had gotten to, perhaps I was into the next stage of life where those kinds of things just didn't happen. So yeah, I guess it was, we have stereotypes in our mind of when we think we should do things in life. And this always seemed like a young person's dream. And like after you got to a certain point, you should move on to other things. Hopefully not the rocking chair and the knitting needles, but there's definitely stereotypes as to when you should do things in life.
I was on the verge of giving up, thinking, all right, my best years are behind me, but now I'm like, I've got some good ones ahead of me. And which has relieved my mental stress of looking forward to things that I've planned and want to do, and I'm going to do them.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime dream thing, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to have fun. And I'm just so thankful that I was encouraged to come. And I do have to say, every person that I talked to about this, everyone told me I needed to come. I never had anybody question anything. It's, oh, you need to do that. You need to do that. And I thought, well, I guess I need to do that. And so here I am.
The appeal is the fresh air, the quiet, just the whole not my normal life, not picking up the phone, I haven't been on my computer for a week now. Yeah, it's been kind of nice. It's going to be kind of a shock getting right back on.
So this is my third time here. You can wonder why you come to this place 3 times. It's beautiful. The mountains, the animals, the people. But I think the main reason for me coming back were the organizers. It is so well put together. The first time I came, I was scared because I thought I was so old. 76 the first time. Oh, and I got here, and the people were so interesting. These fantastic ladies.
This is my 3rd trip out to the ranch. The whole ranch, it's the whole atmosphere. It's not just the horses. The horses are just what we all love here. But the ranch is quiet. I go for walks out in the woods on the ranch just for the quietness. And it's just almost like a family here, even though when we come here, we don't know each other. We blend in really easily. The first day we get here, everybody's kind of, on their best behavior. The next morning, everybody comes out in their robes. Everybody's like dragging, and nobody cares. Nobody's judging anybody at all about anything.
I bet you there's a lot of people that when I told them I was going to go on this trip were like, oh my gosh, I wish you'd have told me. So I would have loved to do that with you. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I'll tell you about it and you can go do it on your own. That sounds good to me. I don't think I want to hold somebody's hand. That was my whole thing about taking this vacation on my own. And hopefully no one's had to hold mine too much.
I deserve to be happy, and this trip makes me happy. So I deserve to be here with all these folks, do these wonderful things, take those memories home with me that I can cherish, and maybe come back.
I think everybody here is here for different reasons, and that is only going to be, well, it's special to them, and now they get to share that with the whole group of women. And I think that's pretty neat. And I think everybody here appreciates it. Just the sharing part of it, to getting to know the other women and the other lifestyles and reasons for actually being here.
I have to admit that the ulterior motive is that my grandkids, my 17-year-old grandkids think I'm cool. And I have to admit, I kind of like that.
I've missed being on a farm and being with my horse, and I just wanted to have a chance to do that again. I made the decision to make the trip by myself, not knowing anybody else here. After visiting with Sharon on the phone a couple of times, I felt very, very comfortable. I know I deserve this trip because I've, worked very hard all my life and saved my money so much. And I was like, I want to do some more fun, exciting adventures like this one.
Was looking at my Facebook and I saw Do the Dreams, and the picture on the front of it looked interesting, so I started reading about it and I watched the video. And I told my husband, I said, this is something I want for my birthday. My birthday was coming up in July. And I said, this is what I want for my birthday. And I said, would you be interested in watching it? And he said, yeah, I'll watch it. So, and he's usually not up that late. So he watched it and he said, yeah, go for it. He said, I think you'd have fun. So I texted Sharon right away, and at 11:15, my phone rang, and it was Sharon. And we talked for 30, 45 minutes, and she had been recovering from hip replacement surgery, and she had been sleeping all day, and she woke up and said, I got my phone to check my messages, and your message is on there, so I decided to call you. I don't know where you are. And I said, well, I'm in Texas. And she said, so we talked for, I could tell she was a little on drugs, from the surgery, but we had a great talk, and I really enjoyed talking to her, so I decided I'm going to do this. And she said she'd send me the information, and she did, and I did it. So here I am.
First of all, the fact that it was mostly women of a certain age, that appealed to me. And then just being able to do a trail ride day in, day out, every day, that was a big plus for me. And the other thing, it's kind of a silly thing, but the opportunity to be in a cool climate during August was a great draw also, because Texas is really hot in August. And, just to have the opportunity to blow out of the state and be somewhere cool and crisp and not humid for a few weeks in August was very appealing to me. But mostly it was the interaction with the horses and the other women.
The reason I wanted to do something like this is because I am not going to own a horse at this point in my life, but I want access to riding and to doing fun, adventurous stuff. My husband does not ride horses, and that is one of the reasons he encourages me to come do these things, because he knows that I truly enjoy it, and he doesn't want to get anywhere too close to a horse.
It is wonderful what you're doing to put this together, bring all these ladies together. We're all kind of older, and I think that has also kind of helped, or at least what I've heard, some people think that, maybe we're not so old after all. There's a little life left in them. So I think that has helped. It's kind of a mindset when you get so old, it's like, well, what else is there to do? It's all downhill from here. But I think this proves it isn't.
Last year I saw online about this event, Do the Dreams, and I got very excited about it, and I thought, I want to do that. Unfortunately, at the time, I wasn't physically able to do that, and I had kind of forgotten, and then I ran into some friends at church that reminded me about it, and fortunately, I was able to get on board and be here, and my motivation was, I had some both physical and mental health issues that I wanted to overcome. And I thought, this looks like a good way for me to overcome some of the battles I was fighting. I've got to do this.
And this has been a really big adventure, and I'm glad that the trip chose me. I'm glad that I saw it. I'm glad that I scrimped and saved to do it. I'm glad that I didn't let anything stop me from enjoying all of it out to the edges. And I can hardly wait to see what the next adventure is going to be, because I am bound and determined that old age is going to be fun.
Nobody could believe I would go on a trip by myself, not knowing a single soul. And it was great. Made great friends, people I'm sure I'll keep in touch with over the years. But it was a great group of women and a lot of fun. I didn't bring anybody with me because I just thought it would kind of be nice to go do something where nobody knew me, nobody knew anything about me. I could be whoever I wanted to be and not have to worry about if you invite someone and they don't have fun, then you feel bad that you invited them. So I just came by myself and loved it.
I wanted to take a vacation, didn't want to really take into consideration what somebody else wanted to do or what their time frame was, or I guess I just wanted to do this for myself, by myself.
I think I wanted to do it by myself because if somebody else came that I knew, it would be like her and me. You know, I wouldn't have got to know the other ladies like I have. And I have enjoyed that. That's been very important. So I have a lot of friends, and all my friends were envious that I was coming, but glad they weren't. So I know my daughter-in-law, she just texted me a couple days ago and said, "I'm so jealous," you know, but she's got kids to raise.
Well, I think that people too, they know, the ones that know me know my personality, and I guess they don't expect that I would do something by myself. So it's kind of the expected response that they think that I would probably tend to shy away from that. I do remember one response when I first saw the advertisement for Do the Dreams. I forwarded it to my daughter-in-law and I said, "Would I be crazy to do something like this?" And she just fired back immediately, "Absolutely not. You need to do it." So there was that encouragement there, and that made me pick up the phone, make the phone call, and find out more about it.
And everybody said, "I can't believe you're going by yourself. You know, why don't you get somebody to go with you?" I said, "I don't want anybody to go with me. I want to do it by myself. I want to meet new people. I want to have an experience by myself." So it's worked out great. I think hopefully we'll be friends forever.
Working with these older ladies in my age group, it's just amazing to see how much life and energy they have and how brave they are to just go out here after some of them years not being on a horse and just having a good time and not, just letting go of any apprehensions and fears. And it just gives you a real strength that, just to see that, you're never too old to do this. You're never too old to try it again. We're in our prime in our own way. That was nothing to be afraid of.
I was proud of all of us. Yes, very proud of all of us. It's amazing. And the other thing, I watch the women that are here, because I've had thoughts in the last couple of years of I'm getting too old to do things I really want. And then I see ladies that are a little older than me and they're just going for it, and that encouraged me that I can still go for it.
It's paramount to have that kind of support and encouragement. Got me off my bottom and going. I think I am proud of myself. I made a decision that at the time was a purposeful step forward, because I didn't feel like doing it other than wanting to but being afraid to. But I took that step forward and it has paid off big time, and I know that's going to help me to do the same thing in the future, and that's only going to open up more exciting things for me to do.
Oh, the first time I saddled up, I wanted to be very brave. I do not ride horses. I have not been on a horse since I was a child, and that was in somebody's farm. So I was afraid that I would mess it up terribly, that I'd scare myself and scare my horse more. But everything came together with the help of all the folks at Wranglers, and we made it. And I felt really, really proud of myself when I got on that horse.
it's a simple life here. It's just us and, you know, our relationships with the other women and our relationships with our horses. And it's knocked back a notch or two. It's just simple and quiet and peaceful. I think that's the big thing, is that it's so peaceful here.
So I'm first generation American. My mom came from Paris, France. She came here in her 20s after the war and was in California, then went to Vegas and was a cocktail waitress until she retired and raised me there and got me my first horse. And back, you know, when I was 12 years old, and it's always supported my love for the horses. And very grateful for that because I was always a horse junkie. And she was quite an inspiration to me.
I did not have a horse, and it was a point of constant contention between myself and my parents. I bugged them. Oh my goodness, I must have bugged them for years on end, telling them that I wanted a horse. But my sister had a horse, and she was an Appaloosa. And I think they probably got into this horse business not knowing what they were doing. And so the Appaloosa wound up on my cousin's farm, and my parents gave me a firm no every time I asked for a horse. So I had to have friends who had horses, which I did.
I grew up in Iowa in just a small town, maybe 5,000. It was in town, but my grandparents lived out of town. And that was, the routine was to go to Grandma and Grandpa's farm on the weekends. So they created the foundation, I think, for my roots of enjoying the country and learning about just simple, basic living, having my pony, riding the gravel roads down to the river, learning how to garden. So yeah, that's what I identify, I guess, as my roots.
I had pictures of horses. I had the color or paint by number pictures. I've got those. I had the toy horses that, you know, to play with, like little families, and I don't know, I just loved horses, and I always wanted one. And because we lived on my grandfather's farm, he would not allow us to have horses because he didn't want any hay burners on the farm.
I did not intend to grow up to be a cowgirl. My dad had horses, my cousin had horses and showed horses, and I wasn't, around at those times and those folks, but I always thought it'd be a great deal of fun.
My grandfather had several grandchildren besides me, so he ended up with a horse. His name was Paint, and we all had to share him, but I really believed that he was mine. I have a picture of me just sitting up there. I don't think I was just a tiny little thing, but that started the whole thing.
Oh, the view, so many views on this ranch. When we would get to the top of a hill, you would look out across, I don't know how many miles, but there were just layers of depth, and it was a thing that the pictures you take on your phone do not do justice to it, nor can I even think of words really that accurately describe. There's something about the immense expanse of all of it that I don't know that I've ever seen anything like that before.
For the remaining part of this trip, I want to be on my horse. I want to take beautiful rides up through the mountaintops to those beautiful trees and see as much as I can see, actually, and take that home. It's the memories it's the memories that will keep fueling, I think, my desire to get out there and do things. And every time you sense that, the beauty and the stillness of this magnificent area of our country with these divine horses around with their noises and their snorting and their sound of their hoofs, it just makes you want to hear it again and again. So it's really important, I think, to just cherish the moment.
When we ride our horses up the mountain, the trails are really marked well. Sometimes we went off of the trails, which was exciting too. But we would see wildlife in the woods and the forest around us. And it was just amazing to see. And the calmness, it's so calm. I personally felt very close to my family. I've lost all of my family. So I felt like I was right next to heaven and I could talk to him at any time.
Once we hit the top, I think we just all paused and took a silent moment of just kind of looking out across the expanse in front of us, and everyone, of course, trying to take pictures and capture, to a certain degree, what we were seeing. It's very special.
When you're overlooking those views, I mean, you can't help but just feel the breathtaking views.
We have been through aspen forests, pine groves, open fields with sagebrush. We've seen pastures where the cows are grazing. We've crossed water. There are creeks here that we've been across. The horses have stopped and gotten a drink. The ranch is so beautiful. It's difficult to describe in words, but it's just a stunning place.
Texas is hot. I don't know what it is right now. I haven't been keeping up, but a few days ago, my husband took a picture of the dash on my car, and it's at 109. And here it's just fabulous. It gets hot in the afternoon, but it's not so hot that you're miserable. You're not sweating like you are in Texas. Yeah, it's a big change, but I love every bit of it.
The best thing about being here is, first of all, the climate. It's just unreal. And I guess people that are not from the South don't understand why that's such a big deal, but it is a big deal. And just riding horses.
The first lake we got to, I thought that's where we were having lunch, because we were going to a lake and have lunch. Then we kept going. I'm thinking, okay, I guess we're not having lunch at the lake. And then we ended up going higher, and we were up like 10,000 feet, and there was another lake up there that was just gorgeous. You know, you could see the fish jumping, and like I said, the cows were hanging out around the lake with us, eating lunch with us. And when we left that lake, we still went up higher, leaving the lake. It was, there's a lot of going up and a lot of going down, but when you get to the top, you're on these huge plateaus over the valley, and you know, you're so high, it's amazing. You know, you can see forever.
The ride that we took yesterday took us up to a beautiful vantage point where we could look out and see ridges and valleys and, gosh, the various trees that are here, the groves of aspen and the pines, and the view from up there was just unbelievable. It's better than any picture postcard you could even imagine. And we got to just sit there on our horses for a few moments and just take it in. And it was quiet and peaceful, and there was a little bit of a breeze, and the birds were singing, and our saddles the leather was creaking just the least little bit. And that's something I'll never forget.
Rides that we've been on have been extra special. They've been, I don't think I can pick one that is better than the other one. They all were, you know, different areas of the ranch, but, you know, different elevations, different everything. It's just, they're all great.
It's a phenomenal sight. It's mind-blowing. It's so pretty. I've sent pictures to people, and everybody said, "Oh my goodness, are you ever?" What a treasure! What a treasure to see this. It's a blessing for us to see it.
The
pine up here is so beautiful and smells just like if you had a real Christmas tree in your home, but you've got a whole forest of Christmas trees up here.
I love the mountains, the weather. The weather's been perfect. I was told to layer every day because it would, it'd be warm, it'd be cool, could be raining, whatever. So I brought everything I could think of, and I haven't used half of it. It's been so warm, and it's been perfect. I couldn't have asked for better weather.
Looking at the hills and the mountains and seeing all the livestock. I saw a deer yesterday, which was really pretty. We've seen a couple does. I saw 2 bucks yesterday. And of course, it's just a whole different experience. When you live in the city, you don't get a chance to see all that.
So every day when we leave the ranch, we're either in high pines or tall aspens. These aspens are like 60, 70 feet. I mean, they're just huge, and they're on both sides of you. And there's always a breeze in the mountains, and you can hear, the aspens going through the wind going through the aspens, and it has quite a unique sound to it. And as you're going through it, it's relaxing. It gives you just such a sense of peace.
You ride up to 10,000 feet, glorious. You're almost in God's country up there in the mountains, and you are in God's country, obviously, but I mean, it's so high up. You can touch the clouds and see the beauty of this ranch. Is just gorgeous. And I have really enjoyed it because we get off our horses, take a rest, they take a rest, they eat, we eat, we have a good time, laughing, telling stories. Everybody respects everybody. It's been very nice and pleasant with the people and the personalities.
When I came here and knew I was going to a high elevation, I was pretty excited because the smell of pine trees, and I had not experienced aspen trees like I've been able to here. The motion of the leaves, the beauty of the trunks, the peaks into the sky, of the beautiful blue sky, and then the white puffy clouds. It's almost the most spiritual thing I have ever experienced as far as just being in a place. Part of me just says, here we are. This is exactly up this high in this elevation with the trees in the beautiful blue sky, and the quiet is absolutely magnificent.
Actually, I'm here and I got surprised last night. Oh, I come in and here is this beautiful table set. And all these people looking at me. So what's this about? Well, I guess they had decided that it was time for me to start celebrating. So my 80th is coming up in March. And I actually already started celebrating a little bit myself. So now my friends here, my old friends and my new friends, decided I better keep going. And I had my first, I guess it's called Alaska. And it was brought to the table. Then they set it on fire. And I've never had one before. So that was like a big deal to me.
Out here, we celebrate quite a few things, and so far we've had 2 girls with birthdays, and so we celebrated those to the top. We had some special desserts made, and we just celebrated them every day, and we do like to have a few beers or drinks together, so it gets kind of loud and crazy and wild, but we are still under control when we're doing this.
I was 70 years old when I got here. I'm going to leave, and I'll be 71. A couple of days ago, we all celebrated my 71st birthday, and it was very fun. My new friends, it made me feel really special. So one evening we had dinner, and we had great fun celebrating her birthday and mine, and a baked Alaska, flaming baked Alaska, for the both of us and the rest of the crew here at the ranch, and it was terrific fun to laugh and sing and just celebrate ourselves.
The cattle drive the other day was the highlight of the whole week thus far. We have no idea what's in store for us yet. That fulfilled the dream of being able to be on a horse, be working, actually doing something constructive.
One of the days when we were moving cattle, we went across to move a couple of bulls, and those two bulls decided they would rather fight than do anything else than move. And they were so intent on each other, they shoved each other through fences and down through ditches and backwards. And we had to wait a little while because no one wanted to be too close to either one of those bulls at the time. It was, they were intent on trying to destroy each other.
Everybody stood around and kind of watched, and I kind of backed off because I know what they can do. They can be super, super mean. Not very friendly to, especially when the bulls are fighting. They have a tendency to pay attention to what they're doing and not anything around them.
There was one point when we first came upon the cows, and of course we'd been told in general what we were supposed to do and about putting pressure on and leaving a little opening for them to go where we wanted them to go. And yeah, I think a little bit had been mentioned about some bulls. And we got there, and there were two of the biggest bulls I've ever seen, and they decided they didn't like each other, and they started butting heads, and literally both of them crashed over the barbed wire fence as if it wasn't there. And I think we all looked at each other with big eyes like, what are we getting ourselves into?
So we took our time, kept a wide berth, and finally convinced them to move on down.
So we chased a few cattle, and I think the object was to keep them out of the willows in the creek, but of course they were on to us, and that's right where they headed. And so we had quite a time getting them out of there. Eventually, I think we got all but one or two to go where we wanted them to go. I think it was at that point when we had the cows where we wanted them that the wrangler explained how we were now going to go and cut the bulls from the herd. And I can remember asking, would you like to elaborate on just how we're going to do that?
Apparently there was a strategy there. I'm just not sure what it was.
When I moved cattle when I was younger, we moved them either in Oklahoma, or I sometimes helped friends in Texas moved cattle. So there were no mountains, no aspen trees, nothing like that.
I have not moved cattle in the mountains. I've moved them on flat land. So moving them in the mountains up and down the steep hills where the cattle can go, and the horses and riders have a challenge all by themselves going up and down.
The trail rides have been great because you see such beautiful scenery, but I've liked working with cows too. I've done a little bit of that with my horse, but nothing like, as many cows as we've been around and tried to drive and in the expansive area. It's a lot of fun, trailing them, trying to get them out of the bushes and where you want them to go. Can't be too fast, and then sometimes you can't be too slow either.
I chased cattle once before, but it was not a pleasant experience. This was fun. Nobody yelled at us. We just, the wranglers were great. They were very patient with us and seemed to really even appreciate our help. So it was fun.
Oh man, I loved doing the Roundup because I've never done a real one like that before. But to really actually do that, I couldn't believe that I was doing something like that.
But one of the girls asked me, well, how do I do this? And I said, well, I'm still looking for the horn because I round up the cows at our ranch with a Kawasaki mule. So they're used to my horn.
The horse I've been riding, he's a working ranch horse, and he knows where he's going and what he's doing. He's given me more input than I've given him. I've learned a lot from him.
My favorite thing of this whole trip, honestly, was the cattle drive, and I'm hoping we get to do a little more of that. Yes, that was a real experience on the variety and just the practicality. Not just riding down the road and going for a trail ride, but actually getting out there and doing something with a purpose.
Everybody had their job. They had to, help move the cow, and nobody was in a line. Everybody was like, here, you go there, you block them there. And it was different. They were independent. We told them where to go, but they were independent in getting there and holding the line. And I think I gave them a real sense of empowerment because they were doing it on their own. I just love seeing that because when you see the confidence level rise in people where they never thought they'd be, and the confidence level and the smiles in their faces were just amazing.
I watched Nick and his dog Nickel, and I look at them and think, those two could handle this on their own because they're just so good at it. And he was also wonderful with communicating with us as to where we need to be, because I know cows because I grew up with cows, and but a lot of people wouldn't have any idea that a cow can just with no warning do something we don't expect. And so for us to be able to move as many as we did, as quickly as we did, was very rewarding.
When we moved the bulls away from all of the other cows, two of them decided they did not want to go down this ridge and across to the gate that we wanted to push them through, so we had to go off and try to bring them back. One of them, the Wrangler, had to go quite a ways and finally gave up on that big red bull because he was not going to come. But the other one was going to follow that direction, so I went up high around it, and when the Wrangler came back, we moved it back where it needed to go, and it kept trying to escape and get back up where the cows were. So it was a lot of fun trying to convince that bull that it needed to keep going the direction that we wanted it to go.
Yeah, we had so much fun. Me and a lady named Nancy got the red bull, and we were pushing this red bull. It was funny because, we were way back in the pasture, and we were supposed to head for a fence gate opening. We had no idea what it was. We just kept going straight. We'll find it. And we ended up dead center on the gate when we got up there, and it was well, that worked out good. So it was fun. And we were just having a good time and cracking up and following the bull the whole time.
I really enjoyed Mo and I taking on the red bull that didn't want to go with the rest of the herd. So we're like, let's go get the red bull. So that was a nice time. We got to each ride on the side of the red bull and talk about it. And he tried to escape a few times. And at that moment, I'm like, okay, am I up to this? Am I up to turning this horse around and chasing that bull down? And it didn't take long, and we had the bull headed directly to the gate quite quickly, and we both felt a great sense of accomplishment. And I was very impressed with the whole team, all of the women that we went out. I don't know how many cattle we moved, but I think we made it look easy. Nick the Wrangler, who keeps a great eye on all of us to make sure everybody's doing well. And when I got off the horse to close the gate, he looked up and saw a riderless horse, and it concerned him, and he was immediately there on the spot to make sure that whoever was riding that horse was okay. And I was okay. And we had a very successful roundup is what I call it, but I'm not sure if that's the right word, but to me we had a very successful roundup, and I want to do it again.
It went smoother than I thought. And although the bulls grumbled all the way, we got 3 of the 4 where we wanted them.
Named Nick has a cattle dog named Nickel, and he is so much fun. It's like Tigger. He bounces everywhere, and he's wound up tight, but he chases the cows, and when he doesn't have the cows, he'll throw a piece of rope in the air and chase it. Or what I love the most to see is you can look out in the field where the grass is so high, and all of a sudden he's popping up and down. You just see a little black head popping up and down, and he's chasing birds and chasing anything that he thinks moves. And he's so much fun to watch.
That fun dog that loves everybody, the cows, the horses. Oh my God, he loves it here so much. I just love to see happy dogs. Kind of want to take Nickel back home with me, but you know.
Nickel? I love him. It's just amazing. It's just amazing that a dog knows what to do before we knew what to do. And yeah, I fell in love with Nickel and his master Nick, who's a wonderful wrangler, cowboy, leader, teacher, and that was nice. He taught us a lot along the way, and really told us a lot about where we were and the history of it and what we were doing, and that was very interesting.
I was in the lodge, but looking out the window, and all of a sudden here they came over that ridge area, and they just came. It was just, it's just like in the movies, to watch them to come running down the hill and running down the corral area.
Every morning, it's kind of a breathtaking experience. The ranch hand goes out on a dirt bike, and he herds the horses in, and there's up to like 50 head. And they all come thundering back to the barn, up a hill and into the corral. And just watching it and hearing it, there's nothing like it. Until you experience it, you can't really appreciate what it's like.
They all just know what to do. You just circle them up and bring them into the corral. Kind of reminds you of what it would be like in days gone by. I don't think we appreciate sometimes our past as we should.
The dining room window looks out over the field where the barn is. And so a lot of times in the mornings we'll sit at the breakfast table and watch the horses being brought in. And it's such a thrill.
I've had a lot of favorites being here these past several days, and I look forward to what's going to happen in the next few days. But one of the most important things, most fascinating things to me, has been this beautiful, beautiful location where we're at. It's absolutely splendor, and it's superb and magnificent, and all those words that you think of when you want to define and talk about the most beautiful place you've seen so far. And that's right here in Colorado. Another thing that's been really important that I found really cool is that there's 10 women from different parts of our country. We didn't know each other, not one of us knew the other person. We came from different states, and here we are, sharing common interests in doing an adventure that many of these ladies have dreamed about for a long time. And for some others, it's just an opportunity to really have a good time and come together, learn more about one another, and share all the positives and information that we have that's in common.
One of the best things about being here is that I'm not inhibited about what I'm doing, what I'm feeling. I just go with the flow.
This was something I had to kind of toss around about and think about, because I was coming out here as one of 10 girls, not knowing any of the other girls. And I said, no, I'm not going to hold back. I'm retired now, and I'm going to start enjoying life. And so I decided to go ahead and sign up for the program.
I just can't explain how nice this has been, to be here and share this experience with all these ladies. And they're all in my age group, and we're all from different parts of the country, and all have different experiences. And it's just, everybody's just had such a great time. It's so nice to be part of it.
I started out being an OB nurse, which is delivering babies, taking care of moms after they had their babies. And it wasn't long after that I had my own baby, so I stayed home with her for a while. Went back to work, and honestly, I didn't care that much for nursing, and it wasn't very long before a pet store came up for sale. That store was probably another big dream of my life, and it taught me the most.
I'm a registered nurse. I've worked women's health for a long, long time. Seen a lot of things, done a lot of things, and always knew that someday I was going to be at the position like I am now since my husband died 2 years ago. I knew that I would be able to do some things just for me, a little self-love, self-care, and I've done that here at the ranch. I don't intend to stop taking care of me now. This has been a real jumping off spot to say, hey, Stephanie, get out there and have some fun. Maybe do it before you turn 72.
20 years ago, my whole world fell apart. My kids went off to college, which they were supposed to do. My husband left with his secretary, which he wasn't supposed to do. The reason he left was I wasn't fun. And I set out to prove to him how fun I was.
There were many days where I decided that it would be better to go out to the barn and shovel some stubbles out as opposed to do some text work.
Every day that goes by, I realize I have more and more in common with these ladies, and I plan to have a friendship for life with the people I've met here.
One of the things I really, really loved was grooming the horses. We had a morning session of that, and we had so much fun taking care of those babies that took care of us all week, the 10 days. And it's just been really fun to take care of them for a change.
There's a horse here named Rocky, and Rocky is a beautiful horse, but his mane was a little tangled up. So some of us decided that we were going to give Rocky a spa day, and we worked over Rocky's mane and got it into what I would call show condition. It's just beautiful. It's long, and it just blows freely in the wind, and he's such a beautiful horse, and now his outside matches his inside.
The horses really enjoyed the grooming and the attention. They stood well for it. Nobody jumped around when we were grooming them, and they actually were quite relaxed the whole time we were grooming. Yeah, all of the girls enjoyed brushing everybody up and making them look beautiful.
You can come to the table in anything you want. It can be casual, or you can dress up, whatever you wish to do.
Oh, gosh. Didn't miss a meal, did we? Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah. I probably put on weight, not lost weight. Shoot. That was never the intention. Yeah. Normally when I say I'm going to go on vacation, I do not say, hey, don't forget we're going to hit breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because we got to work around those.
The lady who has been cooking for us has done a great job. She even packs us lunches to take out on the trail with us, which has been a real treat.
We enjoyed lunch on the trail yesterday with a whole herd of Black Angus white-faced cows, and they were more interested in us as we're trying to eat lunch than anything else.
And then yesterday we went up on the mountain to the big lake and had lunch, and it was, I mean, I love everything. There's nothing I haven't loved. It's been wonderful. I would absolutely do it again.
It's so much fun to have lunch on the trail because, you know, you're ready for a little break from the saddle maybe, and you get off and, you know, make sure your horse is tied up in a good spot so that they can munch some grass while you're eating your lunch. And everybody just finds a spot to either stand or in the shade or sit. And, you know, we pass out lunches, and everybody just takes the time to compare notes from the morning's ride and to visit with each other and just catch up.
Well, I have to admit that's the first time I've stopped to eat on the trail. But it's, you know, you line up on a log and talk to your fellow travelers there, and you know, it's so much like, you know, in days of old where cattle drives, they have to stop, get their meals, sit on whatever's available to sit on, a log, a rock, and just enjoy your meal, and then get up and get on those horses and go again.
We have a great packed lunch. We relax for a little bit and talk about our trip up there and where we're going to go. And it's just a really bonding experience because everybody always has a story on coming up and coming down.
It is fun to put these clothes on and kind of pretend that you're a cowgirl. The other night we went into town into a bar, a restaurant called Antlers. It was great fun, fabulous atmosphere. The local folks got a tickle out of how we were dressed and all of our good laughing and cheer that we were enjoying. So yeah, if anyone had ever asked, did you enjoy dressing up? I think I did. I've got my belt on.
Well, you know, this is my first cowboy hat that I wore consistently for more than half an hour. And yes, you do get hat hair. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. I do think I need some spurs if I ever do this again, just saying, just for the noise, aesthetics.
And we go to a little cafe bar, Antlers. It's right next to the general store that has everything in it. And, you know, here comes this group of women with their cowboy hats and all dressed up. And, yeah, you know, we look like an invasion.
We did go to the local bar. There's a bar called Antlers in Yampa, and we went there one evening this past week and took pictures and had a great dinner. This is a really old building. I noticed that there was a placard on the front of the building indicating that it's some kind of a historic structure. But it's just this awesome place. It's got a beautiful bar right when you walk in, all kinds of animals mounted on the wall, including, what was that, a mule deer? It was a mule made out to be a deer.
I loved it. They were playing all my favorite music, and I was dancing in my head and just sitting around and relaxing and watching the locals come in. And I'm sure when they walked in and saw however many, 12, 13 cowgirls sitting across the bar, I'm sure they were doing a few double takes.
What a cute little bar. Yeah. That, you know what, kind of reminds me of the props that they use for some of the Western films and stuff like that. Yeah, alcohol tastes the same in all bars, but but everybody dressed the part, made it more fun for sure. Yeah. Even the locals were kind of, yeah, it was fun.
So the annual thing that I've been doing here is going with the group to the local bar. And I've been there 3 years now, 3 times, and the same people are at the bar. So we know them by now.
I have never, not once, not for a moment, felt alone here or like I didn't fit in or like I wasn't part of the group. And for me, that's a real big thing. I feel like I've found my tribe here.
I lost my husband 2 years ago, a little more than 2 years ago, and had to work through all that process of figuring out life on your own, life as a widow. And I was hiding a bit. I think I was doing puzzles at home and things like that. And then I graduated to going to concerts and theater shows. And then travel. Travel has been really special. And this was an opportunity to travel again. Doing it alone is kind of scary, but knowing that there would be the support of the Do the Dreams staff in this great place meant it was a safe place to give it a try. That's why I'm here.
To get out here finally, well, it was a stepping out of my comfort zone, big time, because again, I'm working on my solo life now after being a twosome for 43 years. So once I got here, I think it was very freeing because it was a change of environment. It was exciting to get my own horse for a whole week and a half. And I think at this point, I feel somewhat maybe separated from everyday life. And I'm kind of in a new world, but it's a world that is making me braver and stronger and maybe more willing to try new things going forward.
So much is a big thrill for me this week. And it just, I don't know. I think it's been sort of a healing thing for me too. And I reminisced a lot, and I've gotten to do things that I didn't think I'd ever get to do. And I didn't get to do them from the time I got married until, I was married for 40 years. And then my husband passed away 4 years ago. He was a city kid, so we did city things. He was not a country person at all. Such a thrill to get to do this to the extreme that I'm doing it.
I guess it was the second day. We went up here behind the barn and up into some aspens and crossed a little creek. And I love that sound of the creek. So during, I guess it was the second day or so, I found out one of my best friends was dying. And so the next day I took the day off and I went for a walk. And I just sat by the creek. But it was a good reflection day for me.
With the good food and the being outside and the sunshine and perfect weather, it just seems to have renewed my physical and mental health. I will go home a new person, and instead of being down and out and depressed like I've been battling for a couple of years, I'm going to go home with I'm charging ahead. I've got things to do.
I'm having a wonderful time, and this right now was a real important time for me to do something different. Because last week was the 4-year anniversary of my husband passing away, and I just needed something different. And the timing could not have been better, because I was getting in a rut and probably depressed some, just being at the house by myself. Even though I can go places and do things with other people, I still come home to an empty house.
Best part of being here. The people, I think, and how we all just kind of melted together.
Oh, well, the ladies all get out there, we get to talking, learn a lot about each other and past histories and what the future is for will be than what it is now. And I think we've got a great group of women here. We seem to all get along. And there's I guess several people in great vantage points. You can either go out on the porch or you can sit close to the window and just admire the view. It is, there's no way to lose. It's an all-winner.
All the stories that have been shared among the women and other folks here at the ranch have been very healing in learning that other people too have come to do this same thing for many of the same or similar reasons. We get together at the dinner table and we talk about a lot of things, laugh and have fun together. An evening or so ago, several of us sat out on the porch and watched the moon and the clouds as they flew over it. A few stars had come out. It was just a beautiful evening, and we talked a little more deeply than we had. And that was very meaningful to know that there are people there who don't know you. We don't come from the same places, but we have that inner feeling of taking care of one another. Great feeling. You can't get that anywhere but when you're with other people.
The women here are so great. They come from all over the U.S., and each one of them has their own experiences and their own life story, and I've just really enjoyed getting to know each of them.
I'm sure I've made some new friends. We're all sharing, contacts of where we're going home to or where we're traveling to.
When I first got here, I was really nervous. I tried not to show it, but I'm a bit of an introvert, and I don't meet people easily. Almost immediately, I felt comfortable. Of course, everyone feels comfortable with Sharon. She makes everyone relax and feel comfortable. It gives you big hugs and you're comfortable. But I got to know the other women very quickly. We all have so much in common. And I have been very surprised and very pleased to be able to relax and be myself and enjoy it. That's probably, other than being on a horse in the aspen groves, probably the second best thing about this is the relationships we've built with everyone.
Meeting these ladies is definitely a new thing for me because I suppose that at heart I'm an introvert, and I generally wait for others to come to me before I make an overture to them. But I did come into this trip with the objective of stepping out and making a point to get to know each person, and hoping that I wasn't appearing nosy in any way, and I didn't mean it that way, but I've really tried to connect with each one, ask what they've done in their life or where they're from and why they're here. And it's taught me to put first step forward. I don't always have to sit and wait for somebody else to come to me and ask me what I've been doing. So once again, this is just part of the growth that I was hoping to achieve by stepping out and doing something like this. When I decided to do this, and I would tell friends what was coming up, and one of the first questions they would ask is, "Who's going with you?" And I said, "Well, nobody." "You're going by yourself?" I would say, "Yeah, I'm going to go by myself, me." And I'm so glad I did.
I've been taking quite a few pictures since I've been here because I enjoy expressing myself through photography. And the women have been very fun to photograph because every day we get dressed up in our cowgirl gear. And it's always fun to see what the women are wearing every day. And to get group shots of the girls together it's really great. This barn has a door that makes the perfect frame for a photograph of people. So I've been taking a lot of people pictures, and I've also taken pictures inside the lodge, the pictures of the boots and the trays, and all the hats hanging on the hat tree. But I have probably taken more pictures of horses than I have of people. It's just, especially the horse that I've been riding, I must have, 100 pictures of him on my phone now.
that everyone says I'm a storyteller, but I don't think I am. I didn't know I was, but that a couple of nights ago, we had a lot of fun because there was a large group of us sitting around a large round table that we have, and we were telling funny stories. And I had come across a couple of really funny comedians on YouTube. I grew up in a small rural area, and to find a comedian who speaks very redneck and tells funny things, and then I repeated some of the stories that I had heard, and we all have really humorous things that have happened, and we kind of got to sharing that, and I think we kept some people awake part of the night because we were all laughing so hard.
When you meet new people, they don't know your stories already, so you can share the good ones and maybe not so much the other ones. And I don't know, everybody here has just been, really easy to get along with.
Everybody is dealing with internal things as we grow older and trying to adjust to what's going on in our lives. And I think it's nice for everybody to be able to share those stories of getting older and saying, hey, everybody else is going through these things too.
It's broadened my expectation of what I can do even from here on with the rest of the days that the Lord gives me on this earth.
It's taken away the fear I have about this stage in life. So, because they're so energetic and positive and encouraging that when we went into town the other day and I was looking up at you there with a couple other ladies, and I realized they're a little older than me, and I thought, beauty can be for a lifetime. It's not, you don't have to be young to be beautiful. And there's some beautiful ladies here.
It's very freeing to be around a bunch of women like this who truly support each other. One of the ladies the other day said that she felt like she never fit in with women before, that she always felt like she was something other. And someone else piped up and said, now you're with a group of others. And I think that kind of sums it up, because we're all individuals and we all have various and diverse backgrounds, but we have this thing in common that we wanted to come to Colorado and ride horses.
The porch is my favorite. And around the table, I've always been a person that enjoys being around the table with family, and you get some people here you're going to have lifelong friends with. I guarantee that. I have. From the last time I was here, I'm still in contact with many of the women I met the first time I was here.
The first night, we were just talking, getting to know each other, and this lady next to me, she said, well, I'm kind of tired today because I worked last night. I said, oh, are you a nurse? No. She said, no, I'm an airplane mechanic for United. But it's just the most interesting, amazing people that come here.
We were all sitting around like the first couple of days in the morning talking about what was going on in previous ones, and I was talking with Sharon, and Annalise was with us also, and there was a couple other people, and we were talking about everybody's ages. And I'm 61, and I'm the youngest of this trip, and Sharon was saying, laughing and saying, well, yeah, a couple years ago we had somebody that was 58, so you're not really the youngest one that's ever attended this event. And Annalisa said, well, I'm pretty sure that was Leanne. She was 58 like 3 years ago, so I think that was her. And we all started laughing about that quite a bit. So still the baby on this trip. Next one, probably not.
So yeah, I'm not retired yet. Oh, that's one of those things. When you say, what's different between you and some of these older ladies is I am still working because I have to. And they're, for the most part, retired. So this is just, I can't really speak for them, but I guess this is their vacation from their retirement. Heck, I don't know.
Sharon puts together a great, fun event. I should say she puts together a fun event with great women.
Yes, we were given the opportunity one day to go a little faster. I like the term, they called it the giddy up, and I thought, I can do this. I've ridden horse before. I thought it's just like riding a bicycle. Once you've ridden a bicycle, get back on, you can always ride. And to a certain extent, that's true. Then again, there are differences. But yes, that was a thrill. The meadow we rode in was huge. Group of us got down at one end and took off, and I think my horse decided that he wanted to be in the lead, and he could hear the hooves pounding behind. So there were times we went a little faster than I was counting on, but it was a very freeing experience. Loved it.
I enjoyed the Giddy Up group. I think I still need a lot of work to actually giddy up faster, but I was doing my best. That was fun.
One of my favorite things is we went out and were able to ride some trails that were a little bit harder and a little bit faster, and we were able to go do that for a while. So that was a lot of fun for me, definitely.
Yesterday was one of those experiences where Jane really wanted to canter her horse across the field, and we had the opportunity to do that, and just seeing the smile on her face as she was going across the field was just priceless.
Yesterday when we did the cantering, I kept going back and forth. Do I do it? Do I not do it? Do I do it? And finally I decided I'll do it once, and if I can't handle it, then I know not to try it again. But I had to hang onto that horn with both hands because I was so afraid of flying out of the saddle. But that was a blast.
Oh, I got a really interesting horse this year. So I got a Mustang. I had the option of getting another horse. But then she reminded me of myself. I felt like we were kind of one of a kind. So I decided that this Mustang is going to be my horse while I'm here.
As soon as I got here, they put me on a big, tall horse that I loved, because when I was younger, all I wanted was a big, tall horse. So they put me on one here, and he's been great.
There is a situation on the trail. There is a horse, a beautiful, beautiful black mare named Gloria, and she has an unwanted boyfriend. She doesn't care if he exists, but Lucky loves her. And when he's not right beside her on the trail, he makes the funniest horse whinny longest and funniest horse whinny I have ever heard. And I just want to ride every day with Gloria and Lucky, because he's so funny. He loves her with all his heart.
Our rides are a good length. When we go out in the mornings, it's not a terribly long time before we stop for lunch. And when we dismount and we can walk around and stretch our legs a little bit, have something to eat, something to drink, and then get back on the horses. You're ready to get back on the horse at that point. We're here for a purpose. We're here to ride. We're here to enjoy the natural beauty.
Just do it. And just take one more step. That one time that I stopped right before the coolest thing ever, the cattle. And I'm like, I can't do this, I can't do this. But as soon as I came into the clearing, I thought, I can do this.
Oh, goodness. It's shown me more about myself that I'm able to do, that I wasn't sure in the beginning. I thought, I know I can do this, but I wasn't real sure. I was kind of hesitant about it in my mind, but I'm glad I did it.
Here it's a full day of adventure and physical challenges, and it's changed me. It's changed my life already, and when I go back, I'm going to be a different person than when I came here, with different goals, and it's going to allow me to work towards the goals I've had for years, but I thought I was kind of not able to do that anymore, but now I know I can. So I will go back and just jump right in the thick of it and get back my my vision and my goals and my strength, and I don't know how long that would have taken if I hadn't come here, but it's very encouraging to see the ladies who have come here and how each day we get more confident and strong, and that inspires me and it encourages me, and I needed it beyond what I can explain.
Yeah, it's just so much kindness here and so much of yesterday.
Now, if I'm doing something, it's like watching the scenery, and it is relaxing, so relaxing. And it is beautiful. I can't get over the views here.
Thank you so much for such a fabulous experience. It's been such a gift to be here. The women who are here also on vacation has been the highlight of the trip.
I know my mom really promoted it. My mom's definitely a, what I want to say, very sufficient person who says you should do things. So she was really glad I came.
Yeah, Mom, thanks for encouraging me, and thanks for making sure that I came and did this no matter what, whatever it took to take care of things at home so that I could be up here and do the one thing that you knew would really absolutely be what I wanted.
And it's kind of something on my bucket list that I'll probably never get a chance to do again, but it's been a phenomenal experience. I just thank you.
This is an adventure, and for me, this is actually I don't want to call it necessarily a spiritual experience, but it was a growth time, a life changing. It was a pause in my life that I needed to transition from one stage to the next, and so it was way more than a vacation.
It's just been an awesome experience. And, I keep going through my head, I can't believe I'm doing this. And so much of what I do, I can't believe I'm doing here, and I'm riding horses like I used to ride when I was a kid.
Just want to thank you. Appreciate the chance to be here.
Well, I'd like to thank you. There's a lot of strength and love to be found. Self-love and inner strength for yourself. It'll give you a lot of courage.
I do want to come back. Hope you'll have me.